هلا أستاذ.
كيفك؟
هلا أنت كيفك؟ منيح؟
اشتقنا لكم.
أنا كمان.
كيف عنجر؟
إيه منيح منيح عن جد.
وكيف الدرس؟
إيه منيح ماشي الحال في الدرس.
Don't ask about that.
بس أستاذ اليوم بنعمل functions بس.
طيب رح نعمل أول شيء ريفيجن وبعدين بنشوف أول بيريود ونشوف ثاني بيريود.
إيه شوف أستاذ. نعمل أول period revision والثاني period نعمل solving functions.
هلا نشوف. سيلفي هايكاز.
إيه.
ها
أحلى كينج توماس.
هلا.
أهلا السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
Okay, let's start. Revision.
Says just do.
We are going to review first. ونشوف ثاني period.
Yes.
Okay يلا.
Okay.
Yes. More options. Edit name. Rename. Yes, this.
Okay. هذا البيبر once upon a time I sent you as a to solve it in class and send the solution. We are going to solve this one first. Okay. It reviews.
Okay.
I sent you the solution. رح نعمل.
Yes.
So we have the function defined by fx equals one over radical x plus 1, and the domain of definition is 0 plus infinity. It is closed at 0, opened at plus infinity. Calculate the limit as x tends to plus infinity. How to calculate the limit at plus infinity? How much will you get at infinity? Limit at infinity بتصير 1 over infinity. Number over infinity how much? Zero. If we need to give, if you are asked to give an economical not a geometrical interpretation, what is the geometrical interpretation? X tends to infinity, you get 0. What we can explain?
Yes.
If you need to explain, what is if limit as x tends to infinity gives 0, what you deduce? Asymptote. We deduce that y equals 0 is horizontal asymptote. So limit as x tends to plus infinity is 1 over plus infinity equals 0.
Equals 0. Yes.
Now, second part. Show that f is strictly monotone over I. How to prove f is strictly monotone over I?
من f prime x بنجيب
يعني continuous and increasing or decreasing.
Strictly monotone يعني either increasing or decreasing. How to calculate the derivative of this expression? How to calculate?
U prime v minus v prime u.
over v square.
What is u prime?
0.
Okay, minus v prime. What's v prime?
1 over 2 وهيدا
2 radical x plus 1.
So u prime v minus v prime u over v square equals u prime is 0 minus v prime is 1 over 2 radical x plus 1 times u, which is 1, we get minus 1 over 2x plus 1 radical x plus 1, which is negative. يعني معناتها f is strictly decreasing over I 0 plus infinity. Any questions here? Any questions about the derivative?
هينة.
Now, and determine f of I. How to determine f of I? How to determine the image of the interval?
How to determine?
Yes. How to calculate f of I?
F يعني I is a number between 0 and infinity.
منحط محل الإكس 0.
نحن لنجيب الايمج للانترفال في عندنا 3 كونديشنز. الاي equals هيدا بنتبه بكره بالاكزام. الاي هو اي بي. اذا الاف increasing شو بيطلع الاف اوف اي؟ simply we replace x by we get fa fb, and you pay attention to the interval if it is closed or open. هذا إذا كان increasing. To find the image of I, we calculate FA and FB. Also, is I equals A, B. F is decreasing. What is F of I? Equals
BA.
FB
minus
no FB FA. كمان it is easy to calculate FA و FB, but you have always to pay attention that here at the first number should be the least number than the second number. يعني FB FA, because FB is less than FA. You have to pay attention. We cannot put interval 5 4 is 4 5. Now I finally I equals AB. F not
F is equal 0.
F not monotone.
يعني it's on 0.
How to find the image of the interval? Fi equals the minimum value of y in this interval and the maximum value of y in that interval. Okay? So how to find the image?
This interval يعني Fi.
هذا Fi هذا الامج of the interval. يعني هون إذا x belongs to AB, y belongs to which interval? This is meant by the image of the interval.
Stays?
Yes.
هلا إذا F increasing Fi equals Fa plus Fb.
No, Fa the first number.
Okay, okay, Fa Fb.
Yes, Fa Fb.
Yes.
In our exercise, in this exercise, what do we have?
F is increasing on.
Decreasing.
Decreasing.
F is decreasing, مش هيك؟ How to calculate F of
yes.
قد ايه بيطلع معنا F of 0؟
يعني
infinity to 0.
F of 0 بتطلع عنا ميج، مش هيك؟
ميج.
F of 0 1 وعلى الانفينيتي
ايه اوكي. infinity no 0.
0 على الانفينيتي.
يعني شو بيطلع الايمج للانترفال؟ على ال
1 0
1 وعلى الانفينيتي طلع معنا 0. شو what will be the image?
1 0
1 0
0 1.
So here على الزيرو قديش له معنا الفاليو؟ 1 مش هيك؟
0 1
حطينا هون 1 و it is closed at 1 لانه هون closed at 0. وعلى البلس انفينيتي ليميت على البلس انفينيتي قديش له معنى 0. على البلس انفينيتي it is opened. هون صار it is opened at 0.
Yes.
says يعني
I cannot say
يعني
1 0.
small number
small
يعني
number
small number لازم يكون هون.
yes.
اوكي.
أستاذ ما فهمت هيدا.
To find the image of the interval هيك مش هيك؟ هون ال f is decreasing yes. على جنب لحال بتلاقي f of 0 طلع 1 والليمت على plus infinity طلع معنا 0. We arrange them. Which one is the smallest? 0. بعدين بيجي 1. هون على الزيرو كان عندي closed and its result is 1. We close it at 1. على الانفينيتي the result of infinity is 0. على الانفينيتي was it is open. بصير على الزيرو هون opened.
اوكي استاذ ماشي.
Determine the domain of definition. How to determine the domain of definition of f?
راديكال تحت الراديكال لازم يكون بوزيتيف.
مين هو تحت الراديكال؟
x plus
هيدا
1.
radical x plus 1.
x plus 1 is positive مش radical x plus 1.
يعني x should be greater than minus 1.
شو بصير الدومين in this case؟ x plus
plus
greater
1
than minus 1, then the domain is
minus 1 open bound.
Minus 1 plus infinity. Now how to determine the image of D? كيف نلاقي الامج of D? The function is what? Monotone ولا not monotone over D?
monotone.
Monotone. It is decreasing. مش هيك؟
ليه decreasing?
How to find the image of the interval?
f into 0.
على minus 1, let's find the value at minus 1. Limit as x tends to minus 1 plus of fx. We get 1 over 0 plus, it is equal plus infinity. وعلى البلس انفينيتي قديش لي عندنا الليميت؟
0.
0 يعني هذا هون غلط. على البلس انفينيتي طلع معنا 0. كيف بنرتبهم بالترتيب؟ هيدا شو لازم يطلع هون؟ هذا not correct.
minus infinity and 0. close bound 0. No open bound.
Open bounds بيطلع الانترفال 0 but instead of this minus infinity هيدا should be 0 هون. هيدا 0.
No, the
بلا 0
yes, okay.
0 plus infinity, it is opened at the interval 0 plus infinity. Okay.
هيدا given 0 plus infinity.
Look, okay. طلع معنا 0 plus infinity the image of the interval كمان. طلع the same. هيدا
yes,
minus 1
بس هون ما لازم نعمل لا x plus 1.
الدومين للفانكشن هو minus 1 plus infinity. بلاقي الفاليو للواي على minus 1 or the limit of the function at minus 1. limit طلع معنا plus infinity. وعلى plus infinity لقينا من فوق طلع معنا limit 0. Which one is the smallest? 0. بصير 0 opened plus infinity opened. هذا not minus infinity هذا 0.
Okay.
Exercise 2. We have the function fx equals x squared minus 1 y equals minus 1, 2. The question is f monotonic on I? How to prove if the function is monotonic on I?
نعمل fa is less than 0 and fb.
Okay, no, it is not. مين said it is we make the derivative مش هيك؟
أنا
Yes. To know the function.
نعمل derivative بعدين بنحط minus 1 محل ال x وال 2 محل ال x.
نعمل derivative and we make the table of variations. Okay, we make a derivative, then table of variations, then we will see if we will check if the function is monotone. To know the function is monotone, increasing or decreasing, f prime x. So we find f prime x. What is f prime x?
2x.
2x. Is it positive or negative 2x?
We don't know.
We don't know. So we find f prime x. We solve it equal to 0. 2x equal to 0, x equal to 0. Hide that table from minus 1 to 2. I need it between minus 1 and 2. 0 in the middle, because here we get 0. Between minus 1 and 0, it is negative, positive, decreasing. And minus 1 is 0. F of 0 is minus 1, and f of 2 is 3. We get this one. Now, is it monotone between minus 1 and 2?
No.
No, the function is not monotone between minus 1 and 2. Any questions?
No.
بس هيدول اللي لقيناه f
هدول؟
into minus 1, f into 0, f into 2.
هلا we will use them in the second part.
Okay.
Determine f of I. How to determine f of I? Here the function is not monotone. How to determine fi?
هيدا third condition.
Yes.
شو كنت كاتب small m big m؟
ما عرفت كيف هون.
No هيدا third ما
minimum
فهمت.
والماكسيموم.
بين الماينس 1 وال 2 طلع لي between minus 1 and 2. The function is decreasing from 0 to minus 1, then it increases to 3. What is the least value of y in this interval?
Minus 1.
What is the maximum value of y in this interval?
3.
3.
3. So the image of the interval is?
Minus 1, 3.
Minus 1, 3.
Oh, okay.
You understand what meant by mm?
Yes.
Minus 1, 3. Any questions about exercise 2?
No.
No? Now we'll go to the third exercise.
استاذ
Yes?
استاذ
Yes?
هلا هون عدنا ام البيج ام مش نشوف اذا 0 او 3 اكبر اي هاو من حد.
Yes. Between these numbers 0, minus 1 and 3, what's 1 is the smallest?
And 3.
0, minus 1 and 3, the smallest is
yes.
minus 1. The greatest is 3, so minus 1, 3. Now, exercise 3. We have the function fx. Determine the domain of definition. How to determine the domain of definition of this function?
1 minus x squared should be positive.
Yes, كيف بنلاقي؟
يعني minus x squared is greater than minus 1.
Yes.
يعني x squared is greater than minus 1 and plus 1.
We don't do like that. شو بنعمل؟ شو بنعمل هون أليسا؟
Absolute value. صح استاذ؟
درستونا يا شباب.
شو استاذ؟
What it says?
How to solve 1 minus x squared? Positive.
Absolute value.
X square greater minus x square greater than minus 1. X square less than 1.
x squared
minus x squared greater than minus 1, x squared less
X squared less than 1.
less than 1
وبعدين
X less than
1 or minus 1.
U cup.
1
أيوة.
minus plus minus.
okay, what's the domain of definition therefore of this function?
df equals
minus infinity.
t minus 1 union minus 1 1.
You need 1 minus x squared positive. Where is 1
okay.
x squared positive?
بالنص.
بالنص.
Minus 1 or 1.
minus 1 or 1. The domain of definition is
يعني
1.
but in this case بيطلع 0 greater than 0. It's not logical.
In this case, the domain of definition is 1 minus x squared positive, sign table. Domain of definition minus 1, 1. Any questions?
No. Open bounds.
Open bounds, yes.
Okay.
Is the function continuous at x equals 1? How to know what's the definition of continuity?
يلا عمول.
نعمل x
F
equals
into 1 minus
1 minus و plus
لازم يكون limit
equals to
f of 1. Limit the fx as x tends to 1 plus, limit the fx as x tends to 1 minus, equal f of 1. If these three are equal, then we say the function is continuous at x equals 1.
yes.
Okay, how we know if it is continuous at x equal 1? So I determine the limit first as x tends to minus 1, as x tends to 1 minus. 1 minus, I replace x by 1, we get 0 over 0, which is indeterminate form. So we use
نعمل هذا hospital rule.
Hospital's rule. شو بيقول لنا Hospital's rule?
Derivative.
Derivative
نعمل
over derivative.
Yes.
Derivative of x minus 1 is
1.
1. Derivative of radical u. What is the derivative of radical u? What's the derivative of radical u? What is the derivative of radical u? Boys, yalla.
U prime over 2 radical U.
Thank you. U prime over 2 radical u.
بس استاذ
Yes.
هيدا هون f is u over v.
هذا مش u over v. You are not making the derivative. Hospital's rule بتقول you make the derivative of the numerator alone. نعمل derivative لهيدا لحال over derivative لهيدا لحال.
اوكي.
ما بنعمل derivative للفانكشن. Derivative
ليه؟
1 is 1. Derivative of radical u is u prime over 2 radical u. So limit as x tends to 1 minus يطلع minus وماينس هون بيروح هيدا الماينس بيطلع بس لازم يكون في ماينس هون ماينس راديكال و2 بيروح مع 2 ده عندنا minus radical 1 minus x squared over x. We replace x by 1, we get 0. Now limit fx as x tends to 1 plus doesn't exist. Why doesn't exist?
We don't know.
Who can tell why it doesn't exist? Because in the domain of definition, if you notice for, we have the domain is -1 lal 1. 1 plus is not included in this domain. So limit of fx as x tends to 1 plus doesn't exist. So f is not continuous at x equal 1. Okay? F is not continuous at x equal 1. Now, yes.
ليش doesn't exist هذا كتبت؟
لأنه الدومين هو
ليه؟
الدومين هو من -1 ل 1. شفت هذا من -1 ل 1. 1
Yes.
plus means x greater than 1. هون بس نحن معنا الدومين من -1 ل 1 يعني 1 plus is not included in the domain of definition so doesn't exist.
يعني 1 minus كمان doesn't exist.
1 minus exists. 1 minus is less than 1. You mean -1
okay.
minus?
Yes.
Now part 3.
يعني هون is not continuous.
Not continuous. Part 3 is the function continuous at x equal -1?
No, it's not.
كمان the same. فينا نقول limit as x tends to -1 plus of fx is -2 over 0 plus equal -infinity. Limit let fx as x tends to -1 minus doesn't exist because -1 minus is not in the domain, so f is not continuous at x equal -1. Okay, is it clear the definition of continuity?
Yes.
Then we have about continuity, which is exercise.
أستاذ؟
Yes.
هلا بالتست عنا drawing graph.
Yes.
ايوه.
هلا نعمل drawing. Consider the functions f and g. This is fx. Is f continuous at x equal to 0? How to know if f is continuous at x equal to 0? How to know if f is continuous at x equal to 0? What is the definition of continuity, boys and girls?
أعمل f
نعمل
limit as f
x tends
to 0 minus.
طيب قديش بيطلع limit as x tends to 0 minus؟
-1.
تطلع -1. As x tends to 0 plus
1.
Is it continuous?
لا.
لا. So
شو عملت أستاذ؟
I will discuss it. Limit fx as x tends to 0 plus equal limit as x tends to 0 plus of absolute value of x over x. في شيء question لهون لحد هون توميك؟
No.
Then as x tends to 0 plus يعني هيدا اللي جوا positive الx positive. I can take the absolute value. The absolute value of x بيعطي x over x which is 1. Limit as x tends to 0 minus بيطلع limit للماينس x over x. عرفت ليش minus x over x؟ As x tends to 0 minus the absolute value of x negative. To take out x from the absolute value, since x is negative, I will put minus before it. It will become minus x over x, which is equal minus 1. So f is not continuous at x equal to 0 since the limit as x tends to minus 1 to 0 plus not equal to the limit as x tends to 0 minus. Any questions?
لا
No يعني هيدا من التابل أخذنا 1 and minus 1.
مش من التيبل، هي تيبل.
هيدا يعني 0 minus يعني هون it's negative.
No,
so
هيدا
بيطلع
different
minus 1.
exercise. هيدا different exercise. هيدا exercise 4. that's one exercise 2. Absolute value of
من
x.
وين؟
شو بيساوي absolute value of x؟ equals what absolute value of x? If this number is positive, equal x.
يعني
x and
if x greater or equal to
it's
0.
positive.
And it is equal minus x if x
less than 0.
less than 0. So as x tends to 0
okay.
minus,
negative.
in x negative. Okay.
Yes.
Now second example. If we have the function gx is given by this one equals 2 minus x squared and equal if x positive. Is it continuous at x equal to 0? How to know if it's continuous?
أعمل limit gx as x tends to 0 plus and take x squared minus 1 over 1 minus 2x.
قديش بيطلع الليميت؟
0 over 1.
بيطلع
0.
كيف 0 over 1؟
minus 1.
minus 1.
Yes, yes, minus 1.
0 minus
بيطلع
2.
2.
بيطلع 2.
They
Is
are
it
not
continuous
continuous.
at x equal 0?
No, not continuous.
Is the function continuous at x equal to 0?
No.
No, no.
So limit the gx as x tends to 0 plus 0 plus what we take, which for 1. هون عندي 0. yeah, which one 0 plus؟ اللي فوق ولا اللي تحت؟
البوزيتيف تحت.
تحت. I take the limit of this function as x tends to 0. As x tends to 0 plus ناخذ هذا اللي تحت. We replace x by 0, we get minus 1. Limit as x tends to 0 minus of gx equal limit as x tends to 0 minus of 2 minus x squared. 2 minus x squared بيعطي 2. Then f is not continuous at x equal 0. If they are the same, what we have to find?
X equals 0.
We have to determine f of 0 or g of 0 here. If g of 0 equal to these two limits, then it will be continuous. طب هون from where we get g of 0? If we need to calculate g of 0, from which equation?
2 minus x squared.
2 minus x squared. Okay. طيب take
Yes.
15 minutes break لل 2 و5 and we will continue. Okay.
أستاذ بس بشرفك اليوم ما نفوت جي
طيب
اس.
اوكي بنعمل لا جي اس بدك تفوت.
نو
بنكمل تاني بيريود على 2 و5 بيكون راحت الكهرباء واجت.
بس بدي اعمل فانكشنز ما بعرف شو يعني.
أستاذ بكره ما نفوت جي اس بعد الاكزام.
هلا.
يس استاذ.
نو نعمل اكسرسايز صغير.